So you want to know a secret about this picture? College basketball loves it. They love court storming. If they didn't, it wouldn't happen, but it keeps happening.
The business he's talking about is esports, a business where, yes, actual physical trades exist. Give me a second.
St. John is currently a star player for the Hornets Venom GT, operating under the gamer tag Big Saint.
There's actually plenty at stake, not for guys like Bryce, but for guys on the bubble. These guys are trying to make the roster, and tonight is it.
The question here is, should the Hornets trade LaMelo Ball? They're going to say no. Joey, he's going to say yes. I'm going to be the judge. That's why I have the hammer here.
You're a guy that has done everything in this sport. Why does a third-place finish bring tears to your eyes?
I never dreamed of being a car owner.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is money to be made this offseason here in Carolina. Someone's going to get it. Question is who?
Came back with 2 straight birdies, so now he is at 4 under for the day at -1 for the tournament. Not saying he's going to win this thing, but it's been an incredible recovery.
We got him spot shadowed, falls down trying to get around the pick. Rather than complain, that's what we'd all do. He shakes it off, then off a Hokies turnover, he takes all his anger out with a big dunk. Football field, 160 feet wide. In 6 seconds, Scorton turned on a dime, came back the other way, and was able to force him out.
Michigan football, first and goal.
If you were to ask me to describe Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh, this is not how I would do it.
He definitely has a heart. I think he's a teddy bear as well.
Clearly, Gastonia resident Liana Bell knows something I don't. Having covered Jim when I worked in Grand Rapids, Michigan, I got to know him as a cantankerous coach. She and her family, however, got to know him in a much different light.
Coach Harbaugh reached out to me and was like, hey, Liana. I was like, hi.
Harbaugh had heard about Liana's son, who at one point might have been on the Wolverines' radar. Demetrius Walker was a star athlete from Muskegon High School who boasted numerous Division I offers. But U of M was the one he was waiting on.
He was just like, I just want Michigan. I'm ready for Michigan. He was going to get it.
But when Harbaugh called in the fall of 2022, it obviously wasn't going to happen. Demetrius was dying from cancer, and Harbaugh wanted to do something special for him.
This was the day that we were invited to the big house, and this is his first touchdown with Harbaugh and the boys.
The day was chronicled by ESPN and other national outlets. It's an experience Liana still thinks about, now more than a year after her son's death.
I have a lot of videos of us going through that tunnel, so I definitely relive that moment all the time.
Jim and his wife apparently do as well. Even though Liana left Michigan for North Carolina last year, the Harbaughs have not lost touch.
They just encourage me and tell me how great Michi was and how he has changed their life.
He inspired them to keep believing. And while it was a joy to see the Wolverines finally win it all this past week, Liana took greater pleasure whenever Harbaugh would bring up her son's name during media interviews.
You know, when people pass, you would think the world will stop, but it just keeps going. And he's just never forgotten.
The entire thing is bittersweet.
He's supposed to be here. He was supposed to be here celebrating with us.
Instead, Demetrius is now an immortal Wolverine.
It's like I felt the presence.
Still inspiring, still connecting, and still bringing out the best in everyone. If you were watching the Panthers and Bucks play their games side by side this afternoon, man, were you on a roller coaster. Both games kicked off around 1. Both had to frustrate Panther fans to no end. We'll start with Tampa. They were at one point good this year. Now they're not. Back in the second quarter, they were having all sorts of problems. Miami, who was leading 17-7 at the break. Well, that was happening. Carolina was holding its own against the best team in the NFC. The Panthers and Seahawks were actually tied at 3 going into the second half. Remember, a win would have clinched the division for Carolina over Tampa, but that never happened. In the third quarter, Carolina suffered a major meltdown. Right after they picked off Sam Darnold, Chuba Hubbard fumbled the ball. It will lead to a touchdown. Seahawks led 10-3. Next drive for the Panthers, they looked to respond, but look what happened. Bryce Young throwing, he's going to get picked off. Julian Love with the interception. Seattle getting it back in Carolina territory, and they would cash in moments later. Darnold, 1 touchdown pass on the day. It happened on this 17-yard strike to A.J. Barner. 14 straight from the Seahawks. They were up 17-3 going into the fourth. Panthers would go on to lose this one 27-10. And if that weren't bad enough, the Bucs lost to the Dolphins 20-17. So a lost opportunity for the Panthers, and now it all comes down to next week. Win that game, the division is Carolina's. After an up-and-down season, maybe it's only fitting it ends that way. For more on what happened, though, today at the bank, we send it back out to Gabe and Gia.